Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for tuning in to another episode of Generational Wrestling Podcast, a very special Crown Jewel 2021 review episode of the Generational Wrestling Podcast. It's yours truly, the 28-year-old piece of gold, the franchise, aka the showstopper, better known as the GOW's resident tribal chief. And with me, as always, I got my tag team partner, my brother, my family. He is the flyest in the room, Mr. 1, 2, 3. Pin that ass down, K Breezy, aka Two Code Kimbro. What's happening?
Man, nothing much, man. Just got done watching a little bit of the Crown Jewel, finishing it up. I'm also sitting here watching this Browns game going on. So if you see me react a certain way, I'm watching the game. That's all it is. Other than that, man, I'm good, man. We got to see what happens when WWE actually gives a damn about the matches and give them time. This was not a bad pay-per-view, man.
Earl, what's good, brother?
What's going on, Earl, man? This was not a bad match, pay-per-view at all. There's probably 2 matches out of the 10 that I didn't really care for. One was okay, but there's 3 matches I didn't really care for. But everything else, man, you saw what happens when you give it time. Actually, it was 4. Now that I really look at it and think about it, because I didn't care about the pre-show match. So there's about 4 matches. So I say 6 were good, but they were good matches because they were given time to really do something. But other than that, man, franchise, man, whenever you ready, brother, I'm ready.
Well, you know what? Silly me, I forget whenever we do these reviews or predictions. You got all the information. You be the host of the show. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and switch the screens around because I feel like I felt wrong, man. This ain't my job. This is your job. This is the Two Code special. So
hey, man,
let me line you up properly and address you as such. Ladies and gentlemen, also the host of your 2021 Crown Jewel review show, Two Code Kimbro. Brother, take it away.
My God, man, sitting here watching these Browns do what they do. Ooh, man, I love it. All right, man. So we start off, man. We had the Usos versus the Hurt Business. That was the pre-show match. It wasn't a bad match. Like I said, the Hurt Business is not bad as a tag team. They just they blew them up. Then they did nothing with them, and then they brought them back, and it was just kind of like out of nowhere. So it's kind of like the importance of it really isn't much. And with Bobby Lashley, I believe it's staying on Raw. Yeah. They're all staying on Raw, right? Yeah. So they're still on Raw. So they're like they're battling with Roman Reigns and the Bloodline. The New Day are on SmackDown, so it's not like they're battling with them because Big E is left on Raw by himself. So it was it was what it was. Usos. Let's move on to the first match of the main card, man. Okay. Earl says, man, the women's triple threat match was bullshit. Push Bianca's strength to turn around and have everybody kicking. Well, yeah, you know you were going to get that from time to time, but I think we all kind of knew her going to Raw, she wasn't going to win the SmackDown Women's Championship. I didn't expect her to win the SmackDown Women's Championship. I had Becky retaining because I just saw them having Flair and her just swap it. That's all they were going to do. Other than that, franchise. What was I was reminded talking about Earl. But the first match of the card, man, the Hell in a Cell match. That's what they started with. I was shocked, like, whoa, this is what you starting off? You starting off hot with the Hell in a Cell match? Okay. Gotta say though, man, great match. A great way to start the show, man. Seth Rollins and Edge, they definitely upped their game from the Madison Square Garden match. I said that match, that was the best match to me because that was the better match. But this one, but this match here, man, this Hell in a Cell was great. It was really great. I enjoyed it, man, from the beginning all the way to the end. Especially my spot though is when Edge pushed Seth Rollins off the top rope and he crashed into the side of the cage and then bounced off the cage. Like he hit all of that, like he didn't overshoot it. He hit it just right, and it was like, damn, like that. I ain't never seen nobody fall like that. Like I've seen people get tossed out, but never tossed out, bounced off the cage and into the table. So that was kind of cool. But I mean, Edge taking the steel, the super kick with the steel chain wrapped around Seth's boot, and then Edge taking it and doing the curve stomp. Even though I think he kind of missed the curve stomp a little bit, but all in all, though, man, as far as just a storytelling match of this, especially of this rivalry between these two that we've been seeing for the past few months. Hey, man, this was good old school WWE kind of storytelling and rivalry for a match. I think this is what they used to do to get stuff over, and we kind of want them to get back to it, and let these guys be naturally who they are. Like Seth Rollins as a jackass is great. Edge being that dude that retired that wants to prove he still got something, like that's awesome, man. So you built something with that story, and they've done what they could with it, man. And it ended up being a great match to start the show. Even though they're both still on Raw, so I don't really see it being over, but it is what it is. Franchise, man, what did you think of the match, man?
Yeah, I mean, dude, that match. First of all, like you said, we talked before the air. Before I respond, Earl, we already said what's up to you, man. But you made some great points. The Call Up Podcast, man. Shout out to our fellow podcaster people, man. Much love, Milton Berry. Shout out to you. But to come in and answer your question, yeah, dude, hell of a way to start it off. I mean, Edge has proven he has a lot left in the tank, and normally when we got these, these big match situations with Edge, some way, somehow they find a way to add in a third person or kind of, cheap. I'm not gonna say cheapen the match per se, but almost kind of protect Edge in a way. But this time, man, you got Edge in there in the straight up hardcore Hell in the Cell match. I mean, him and Rollins gave it to each other. They showed a replay, man. At one point, not Seth Rollins, Edge, he took when I say a mean, he took a flat boot to the face. Like there was no protecting him about it. Like Seth Rollins kicked the holy shit out of him with that side kick. And then of course, with the chain wrapped around the boot, I thought that was cool. My only thing is this. I like it. I loved it. I feel like it needs to stay at Crown Jewel. I feel like this was the perfect send off of this whole thing between these two. Don't run it back on Raw. Don't try to continue this and make it anything more than what it needed to be. No. Seth Rollins, Edge, they came, they saw, they conquered, they had a hell of a match. Edge, he won after Seth Rollins broke into his house and, disrespected that man and his family. You got your comeuppance, let it go. WWE, you have a chance to do something great with these two in their own separate lanes now. We don't need to run this shit back on Raw. Please let it stay at Crown Jewel.
Yeah, I think they'll do that. Now, with the changes coming, you got a new WWE champion. He's going to need competitors. So I could see Edge wanting to get an opportunity at Biggie. I could see Seth Rollins wanting to get an opportunity at Biggie. Of course, Bobby Lashley, maybe at AJ Styles, once he's out of the tag team division. Because I think now that they finally lost, well, we haven't gotten to it yet, but I think he'll be moving up to go back to the tag. So there's quite a few guys that Biggie would definitely need to go up against to have a nice title run. And I could see Seth Rollins and Edge being one of those guys being put into a number one contenders match, to see who would go on to face Big E. So it's over, but I hope they don't rush to that anytime soon. But obviously, you watch the show, man. Big E retained, but we'll get to what happened about the match and what we think. But I Bobby Lashley kind of lost. He had his opportunity. It is what it is. He beat Drew, but Drew's going to SmackDown. So, like I said, you got the changes going. You got a few people that you obviously see that you got a Killian Cross. Will he be the WWE champion soon? I don't think so, but depending on the push that they have for him, depending on what it is that they I don't know, man. There's a few options, but we got to see how they play it out. We got to see how they develop. We'll see what their plan is, and how many times they're going to change it from show to show, right before the show, 5 minutes before the show, an hour before the show, shit like that. So it is what it is. But we got a lot more to talk about, man. So that was the first match on the main card. The second match, man, we had Mansour versus Ali. Not a bad match. Mansour won. I can't remember the guy that came out, but he was Olympian that just won at the Tokyo Games, and he came out, kicked Ali in the head. Him and Mansour celebrated. Awesome moment, cool. Then next up, man, we had that Raw Tag Team Championship match. RK Bro going up against AJ Styles and Omos. And Riddle, man, Riddle just knows how to just do it. He just knows how to be him and just coming out on a camel. Even Randy Orton looking at him crazy, but then he's like, man, all right, well, let's go, man. Come on, you are who you are. Let's roll. And even after a while, he just went with it, man. But I'm really digging RK Bro to the point now where when they decide Randy's gonna turn on Riddle, it's gonna be like, damn. Ah, man. All right. Well, we saw this kind of coming, but man, I'm kind of. Earl said he's over. I'm over RK Bro. I'm over it, but it's finally got to a point where Randy kind of just accepts him who he is, and there's a little bit to work with it. You got a few new people to kind of do some new stuff with, but I don't see it lasting too much longer. So it's not something I don't think we're gonna have to really continue to look at for a real long time. Bro, what did you think of this tag match?
Yo, I thought it was cool, man. I'm glad that Omos and AJ did not win, as I said they shouldn't. RK Bro, man, I was not a fan. I wasn't really the biggest fan at first. I like Randy Orton. I like Matt Riddle. It was cool at first, then they kind of like got stale on me. But now like you said, it then kind of got to a point to where it's like, okay, you know what? I'm not mad at it. WWE's they've had a lot worse makeshift tag teams. And the fact that Randy and Riddle are so opposite. And if you know anything about Randy professionally, but also his personal life, Randy once upon a time, man, was pretty much known as a dick. So to have a guy that is just so out there and just so over the top and so extra, like a Matt Riddle, like that very type of guy that you would think will piss Randy the fuck off. And now to see Randy kind of, showing his growth and maturity and like, oh, damn, okay, well, all right, you like little bro, man. It is what it is. Like, and that's what I feel like it is. I feel like Randy's like that mature older brother, and I feel like Riddle was like that kid that their parents had like 15 years later on accident. And so, Riddle just wants to, hang out with Big Bro and have fun, but he's annoying as shit. And Randy ain't
very annoying as shit.
Yeah, but it's cool, man. I like their dynamic. However, like you said, once his honeymoon phase is over, it's gonna be kind of bittersweet, man, because I know Randy gonna RKO the shit out of my boy.
And it's gonna be and I think they'll put on a great match. I think Randy Orton versus Matt Riddle could be a really good match, and we'll get to it. We will get to it, Earl, man. Don't worry, man. We will get to it real soon. But I really thought this was a really good tag team match. AJ Styles, man, what can you say? The phenomenal one as always, dude. It is just what it is, man. It don't matter. But I'm ready for him to be out of this tag division. No more of this. I don't care if he's old. He's one of your best top guys. Even if he doesn't win the championship, he needs to be AJ Styles. I like to almost get an opportunity, but it's time to start. It's time for this boy to start doing a little bit more. But he's not ready yet. Yeah, let's just be honest. He's not ready.
But let's be honest though. WWE, they shouldn't have brought him up this damn early.
Well, he was tall, and Vince. You know how Vince are with guys that size.
I know. Earl says, before we get moving, Earl said, my question is, what is Vince going to do with the tag team division on Raw? And you know what? That is
find out.
Yeah. I think eventually you got to call up some more NXT people because you guys don't really have a lot of people on either show really for a lot of tag teams, especially since you cut all them damn people.
Well, okay. With what they have now, look, I don't want them bringing up too many new people because I don't want them burying them, but I don't want them putting over the people that I want you to give opportunity to. Like you got who you got, and because of you getting rid of so many people, you gotta let some of these dudes go out there, and you gotta let some of these folks go out there and do what they do. Some of them gotta go out there and perform and be something. And you, it's
Nah, go ahead, man.
know,
Come
man.
on, come on.
I want them to understand. I understand they're going to do things their way. We all know that, but I want them to give a little more. Just give a little more, man. Like this should be a prime example of wow. Like I got to give props to something, man. And I know we're going to move on. I got to give props to the crowd. You know how normally we watch these shows and they're not always great, man, because the crowd don't always seem to know what to do or they don't always seem to react the way you think, normally how we would all react, man. But I got to admit, man, this Saudi Arabia crowd, man, this Saudi crowd, man, they were pumped. They were hyped. They were ready for this show. They were cheering.
Ready.
They were booing. They were doing it all. I mean, they were in sync for this show. And I think that kind of made it a little bit better to watch. He said, like, man, I'm late, but I'm gonna say it is what I really did enjoy it too, man. But the crowd really, them being, just reacting at the right moments in time and just being really excited, man, really made you really watch this. But also, like I said earlier, we saw what happens when WWE give matches time. You'd be amazed on how good some of these guys really are. The story could be better as far as the interest, but if you know these guys are really good, man, you gotta give them that time. So I hope they take a little bit of what happened tonight and add it to Raw. SmackDown already does it. SmackDown is SmackDown. But that's a great catch. But Raw needs that. It's a 3-hour show. Nobody wants to see a whole bunch of promos and people. We want to see some wrestling, but we want to see some legit. I mean, I understand you're gonna have some squash matches, but man, you got to give people. You got to give. It's called World Wrestling Entertainment. It's still wrestling. You still got to give people some wrestling. All right, still got to give us that. But we're gonna move on, man. Next match: Selena Vega versus Doudrop. Let me just say, WWE dropped the ball on this. I understand you wanted to push newer people. I get that. But you needed a couple of veterans. I'm not going to lie. To have a Bayley or a Natalya or a Sasha or a Flair or an Asuka or, you needed some legitimacy in this pay-per-view. Now, if you think about it, you think, well, they had Carmella. Okay, yeah, Carmella's a former champion. You give her that, but it's like nobody was really looking for Carmella to win. So but then again, when the way it was set up, it looked like Carmella could win. So, damn, almost interception. Whew. It just needed a little bit more legitimacy. So it looked like Carmella could win, but she didn't end up winning. So it ended up being Vega and Doudrop. And I gotta be honest, man. And I think you said this earlier, man. I thought you was going to have to quit the gym. Wasn't paying attention. Put it to the finish. Leo getting at you. But I think Selena winning, and what did I say? I said, man, Selena's gonna win because they're gonna pull some type of shenanigan where she's gonna win. Well, the shenanigan was that what was it called? Code Red was powerful enough to keep Doudrop.
Hold on, bro. Hold on, bro. Hold on. Leo, first of all, you full of shit. Your Broncos ain't beating shit tonight. Fuck the Broncos.
Man. Leo. Oh, God damn it, Leo. Oh, God damn it. You hurt my heart.
I'm gonna tell John Elway what you did.
Now, see, it was okay, man, because you Jacksonville boy. I mean, but you a Broncos fan? Oh man, y'all. See, oh man. See,
I mean, he ain't got much. He ain't got much to root for down there in Jacksonville.
Okay. I mean, it would have been fine if he was Jacksonville, man. They ain't going nowhere. That's cool. We can accept that. But you gotta be a Broncos.
Hey, Leo, boy.
We're gonna mess with you on that one, man. But yo, man. All right, so Vega won. She's your queen of the crown. Give me your thoughts, man.
All right, man. So
give me your thoughts, man. We gotta be real for the people, man.
I like Zelina Vega. When
Right.
she was manager with Andrade, I
Awesome.
felt
Awesome.
even then she deserves to work in the ring a little more as an in-ring competitor because
And she should. As a
because
manager and a wrestler, she could have did both.
because when she interfered in matches, you could see like, oh shit, like she coming off the top rope, she doing moonsaults, hurricanranas on dudes and shit, and the shit coming off clean. Like, oh damn, okay, she can go somewhere with this. My only thing was you buried her. Then she left the company. Then you bring her back, and then she had the whole thing with Liv Morgan and Carmella, and it looked like she was going to go to a certain level, and then she didn't. And then you kind of lightweight buried her. Then you bring Doudrop along, who was up under the tutelage, quote unquote, of Eva Marie. She turned on Eva. Well, Eva kind of turned on her. Doudrop been doing her thing, looked good against Shayna Baszler and everybody else, and she clawed her way to the finals. And then you have her lose to Zelina Vega. Not only did she lose to Selena Vega, she lost via a cold red. Not only did she lose via a cold red, a move which looks physically impossible to pull off if you look at the weight distribution between the two. But
she could have kicked out of it so fucking easily.
She could have kicked out of it easily, and then on top of that, not only that, but then she lost clean. That's right there. That is what irks me. If you're gonna have a Selena Vega be this heel, be this big heel, hell, even Becky Lynch. Well, technically, I guess it didn't matter because we ain't gonna get there. But anywho, sticking on Selena Vega,
she showed you how it was done. If you're gonna win it like that,
exactly, and that was kind of thing that annoyed me. Like Zelina, and it's probably what 100. I'm not even speculating on the weight because you don't do that with women, but soaking wet, man, it's nothing. It's not a lot there. And then you got Doudrop, and then like you said, man, Doudrop. I think the thing that pissed me off with that cold red and that pin was it was too obvious how easy she could have kicked out. Like there
kicked out. It's so obvious that Selena shouldn't even got it off.
Yeah,
okay, Tony Storm is one thing, but Doudrop, hell no. There's no way in hell you flipping her over that easy like that.
Yeah.
Don't get me okay. We know what we're talking about. We know what we're complaining about. We understand we understand what it is. But at the same time, you gotta make it look believable. There was nothing believable about that. Come on, man. That's the whole thing with me. Wrestling, I understand what it is, but at the same time, there's just certain things you kind of gotta make sure it's right.
Yeah,
and if you know it's not right, you gotta do something else. Even if that something else ain't even that great, but you can't do that and then expect people to be like, oh man, wow, oh my God, that was amazing. No, that was not amazing, man. That was totally unbelievable. Like, no, like no, that was bad. That was a bad finish call. Selena should have won with feet on the rope. Something sinister, like heel, like more heel, like that's how she should have won. She should not have won clean. She should have won heel. And it is what it is, man. Let's move on. I don't want to spend that much time on this. I don't even want to spend that much time on this next match. Bobby Lashley, Bill Goldberg. It went on way too long. That's just my point. It went on way too long. This match should have been short. Hurt Business coming out. I don't even know what they I want them to stop with the Hurt Business. Just let them do something else. I don't even want them. I don't even want them around anymore, man. Like you making them worse than what they were before, and that's bad.
You know what? I think it is. I think it's overcompensation. I think that and I could be wrong, but just in my assessment of the situation, I think that Gabe. Stop.
I told you, man, we got to. Oh, sorry. Look here, folks. Man, look, we got an audience member, all right, tonight, man. Young little homie Gabe, man. He a part of the show tonight. So if you hear some noise, man, it's just little homie doing what he do best, man. We ain't even tripping, man. Let's keep going, Pimpin'.
But as far as the Hurt Business, I think the thing is WWE they seen the comments online. They seen the people like, why in the fuck did you get rid of the Hurt Business? And then so when you took the title off Lashley, I think WWE thought, oh, okay, well, we can still save Lashley by just throwing him back in the Hurt Business. People that love this is such good shit. The only thing is, this is my issue with the Hurt Business.
You didn't build it back up. You just did it out of nowhere.
Well, one, you did it out of nowhere. There was no reconciliation. You just kind of did it out of nowhere. And two, the last time I seen the Hurt Business before now, Lashley made them look like some bitches. Like Lashley pretty much like discredited who they were. Lashley made me feel like he made the Hurt Business and the Hurt Business was holding him back. So the fact
and they were bickering back and forth and it didn't mean shit.
Exactly. It's like nothing you did to break them up in the first place, you never paid it off or tied loose ends. It was just kind of like, oh, okay, well, we're gonna hope that they forgot what happened and we're gonna throw Lashley back in the Hurt Business. It was like, nah, bro. Like there's a whole story left to be paid off here. So then with the Lashley versus Goldberg thing, we've said this. Goldberg has the ultimate warrior syndrome. Goldberg looks good in short spouts. Goldberg is a guy, when it comes to matches, if he's not winning or losing in the first 30 seconds, guess what? 2 minutes and 30 seconds max, that shit need to be done. And then on top of that, he hyped the match up so much to where like, I'm going to kill Bobby Lashley. And I know, you really ain't going to kill Bobby Lashley, but I felt like they did a whole lot of something and nothing at the same time.
Okay, here's why they did what they did. One, they didn't want to bury Bobby, and I respect them for that because you buried Bobby, but you didn't bury Bobby by making it a quick match. You let him be dominant and be the almighty. So it went long. It went longer than we thought it should win, which is fine. I understand that aspect of it. You don't want to lose that credibility for Bobby Lashley. And I respect that. And I'm glad they thought of that because, man, there's been so many times where they have just recklessly let Bill Goldberg just disrespect certain people at certain times. And it was the wrong people that he needed to do it to at the wrong times, but it was for some bigger money moment that they needed. The match was still nothing. Obviously, Goldberg is still not 100% from the surgery. You can tell from that. The Hurt Business coming out didn't really help it. And then the whole spear off the side of the stage, it looked awesome. I'm not going to lie. It looked awesome, but at the same time, it was like, you know what? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm glad this is over. I want this to be done with. All right, let's move on. I don't want to see Goldberg for a long time. I want this. If Goldberg comes back, man,
Bro, I don't. Here's the thing: Goldberg don't need to come back. Like, okay, look, Goldberg isn't Brock Lesnar. Okay, now I know we bitch and complain about Brock Lesnar, coming and wrestling, getting the championship, then not fucking being seen with it for a year and a half, 2 years at a time. I understand that, but Brock Lesnar still has that appeal. Brock Lesnar still has that aura. When Brock Lesnar comes out, I still feel like Brock Lesnar could be a 19-year-old ass or a 39-year-old ass. Goldberg is kind of that guy. Like, I don't put Goldberg and Brock Lesnar in the same category or same caliber as athletes.
No.
Goldberg is a guy who at one point in time had a nice undefeated win streak. Goldberg is more like a superhero. Brock Lesnar is a real life, every day, I'm going to walk up and down the street and beat your ass if I need to, then go back to my farm afterwards. See, Goldberg was created. Brock Lesnar has always been Brock Lesnar.
No, you're right, but it's not necessarily that. Goldberg is just fucking old, okay? That's just flat out what it is. Dude, Goldberg is just old, dude. Okay, it was okay when he first came back and you had him and Brock. And then the way he beat Brock, that was cool. That was cool because it was like, oh, shit, he still got that Goldberg in him. But that's the allure of Goldberg. It's okay when it's a shock value thing like that, what he did when he fought Brock at Survivor Series. Then them having the match at WrestleMania, it didn't go long, but it went long enough to where Goldberg didn't look bad, but obviously Brock was going to do his best. to get over, all right, and win. He did that. The match with the Fiend, that was terrible because you could just tell that it was just terrible. And what happened with Kevin Owens was just based on what happened because of the storyline between Brock and Goldberg, and Brock getting that one-off victory. Kind of like The Rock. He had lost 2 previous WrestleManias to Stone Cold, and then, of course, they get a third time, and then he ends up finally getting the victory. Well, Brock and Goldberg was the same way. It just happened in that way, and Kevin Owens happened to have the championship that they took off of him, even though he was in the middle of one of his great runs with Chris Jericho and the Best Friends, and then they broke that up, and they was creating that, but, you know, I digress from that. So it was okay at certain points, but when you kept bringing him back, and then he did what he did with Fiend, we hated it. With Dolph Ziggler, we were okay with it because it was what it was. It was a squash. It was just Goldberg just squashing through somebody. So,
but you know what it was, because Dolph Ziggler has always been used as that guy. Dolph Ziggler, minus being the Intercontinental Champion and Tag Team Champion, and I think World Heavyweight Champion. I know once, maybe twice. But Dolph has never been that guy that the company has put out there, and to the fan who's like, yo, this is our guy. Dolph is the guy who is going to go out there. He's reliable. He's very reliable. He can make anybody look good. He's going to be very well paid, and he's going to forever be a WWE guy. He's going to go out there, do all the media interviews and do his comedy tours and shit, but he's not going to be the guy that we push like Roman Reigns. So with Dolph Ziggler, Dolph was a guy who had the accolades, who has the in-ring talent, but was never pushed that heavily, but he was pushed just enough to where you still believed in him. Now with Goldberg, we all knew what it was. Ain't nobody going to take a spear like Dolph Ziggler unless it's maybe 2002 Rock. But other than that,
he already did that. He already took his spears from Goldberg. He ain't taking no more. I feel it.
So yeah, but I mean,
he was the first one to take him. Come when Goldberg got to WWE. So he all right. He did his service. Shit. But man, it was what it was, man. This needed to end. It did. It's over. We're gonna move on. Next up, man, we got the King of the Ring finals. My God, dude, I'm not gonna lie, it is so good. And just so we know, I picked Woods, you had picked Balor. I thought you had picked Woods, and I had picked Balor, and it was the opposite. I had picked Woods, you had Balor. But it was so awesome to see Woods grow over the years.
Hey, these my sword is my sword, Tuco.
Use your sword. All right, I got you. All right, I got you, Drew. Franchise McIntyre. But it was awesome. It was a nice match. It was a good match. It was a good match, man. These two really work well together. Woods doesn't have any real explosive things that he does, but you can see that he's crafty. You gotta really watch him. Ooh, good interception. You gotta really watch him. He's a guy. He comes from kind of. It's not unorthodox, but it's kind of unorthodox. He wrestles good, but he hits you from different areas, and I think it comes from him being a tag team guy and just being able to jump off and do certain things. And when you think about him doing it with a tag team partner and then seeing him do some of this stuff by himself, you see the difference in it because it looks more amazing.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, it's like he constantly wrestles like he coming in off a hot tag.
Exactly, and I kind of like that style of him, so it works for him. I wasn't sure if the elbow was gonna beat Finn Balor, but it did. I mean, even though his elbow, it does the Shane McMahon, steps over twice, and then he jumps off the rope. He don't jump off the turn, but the corner turnbuckle. He jumps off the ring rope and lands it. He always hits it perfect every time. Good pass. But I liked the match. It was a good match. Woods is now your new 2021 King of the Ring. All hail King Xavier. Franchise. What do you got to say to that, man?
Yo, my boy Woods. Now my only thing is now I don't know where we're going with the New Day, because I was like, okay, Balor.
I got your answer. I got an answer for that for you.
Okay, cool. But no, the match itself was great. It was a little odd. It was like, okay, Finn Balor versus Xavier Woods. I'll take it. I like him. Whatever, fuck it, I'll take it. And then to see the match, man, the match was good. But the thing that made it even better, this freaking crowd. The crowd was so into it. And then to see Woods, man, it was, Woods. Bro, Kofi got a championship. Big E got a championship. And we've always had to say, well, what about Woodsy? What about Woods? Like, okay, it's not a championship per se, but this is a huge moment, man, because unlike some of the other King of the Rings that they did in recent memory, which kind of sucked ass, this one actually felt cool, man. It felt legit. It felt like they really put their time into booking this. And the fact that he did it, at the cost of Finn Balor, I was like, okay, that's cool. Because now you had this man be somebody legitimate. So wherever you decide to go storyline wise.
Which is what they should have did for the women. I'm sorry to cut you off, but that's what they should have did for the women. That's what was missing out of the women's tournament. You didn't have her beat or someone that was legitimate.
Leo said
that. You know what? Nope, you didn't said it. You didn't said it. You didn't said it, Leo. Now you done started something.
Earl says Woods is about to suffer the same fate as Corbin did as King of the Ring. I'm not sure. Like if this rebrand, if this rebrand the Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDowns, what they hype it up to be, I actually think Woods is gonna be in line for a big push.
No, I got you. Here's the answer to what's gonna happen. It's the subtle details and little things that he did. As he walked up to that throne, when he got up there, he was celebrating. But as he started talking like a king, like kind of King Booker kind of talk, Xavier Woods is going to turn heel. That's what's going to happen from this. He's going to get arrogant about winning the King of the Ring tournament, and he's going to brag about it. Now, think about it, man. This is the same Xavier Woods that clowns people. All right, regardless if we were cheering him or when they were booing him, this is still Xavier Woods. Now, yeah, he's a fan favorite now, but if you can imagine him being King of the Ring and throwing it in people's faces, and even Kofi to a point doing it with them until it gets to a point where it gets to be arrogant. That's where you start to get the heel turn. And it should be Woods. Kofi don't need the heel turn. Big E don't need the heel turn right now. It's Xavier Woods. You want to put singles championships on him. You want to see his growth and give him this potential. And we all see this. It's him that should turn heel. And this would be the perfect reason for him to turn heel, to be so arrogant that he is the king of the ring, that he truly thinks he's the best in the ring. And then to have him lose his first match against Kofi. When they actually have a one-on-one, he loses that first match. That makes him that screws him up even more to turn heel even more. Now, I'm thinking that's common sense, classic heel turning. That's how you build that story. You got that brotherhood right there. It should be Kofi. Kofi challenged him to a match. Hey, and they have a match, and Kofi wins. That either he beats him up right after that, or he does it later on. Either way it go, you push it forward. So I'm going to tell you right here, right now, and I understand that this is just this is just me saying I want this, but I see him turning heel, being arrogant as the new King of the Ring winner.
King Woods.
King Woods. King Xavier.
That's what Xavier, first of his name.
All right, man. So next up, man, we got Biggie versus Drew McIntyre. Not gonna lie, it was a cool match. It had a nice little couple of spots, but it was a nice match to see. It wasn't really nothing too much for me at this point. Because I think at this time it's like, all right, I'm ready for the main event. Like I'm ready to see what's gonna happen. Franchise, what are your thoughts on this, man?
Not bad. I'm glad fucking Drew didn't win. But no, overall it was good, man. Like, dude, minus, like you said, like the 3 or 4 matches, minus those little 3 or 4 matches. Every match pretty much was good because it got time. It allowed to tell a story. It allowed everybody to showcase themselves. Right. Heel, baby face in between. This match is cool, man. Big E, hey boy, that boy, he got a nice little run going so far. So I just hope they keep the ball rolling with my guy, man. They don't get lazy with him.
No, I hope not either. He's beating Bobby Lashley. He's beating Drew McIntyre. So, that's good. He's got a couple of good wins under his belt, and let's see what they do with it moving forward. Uh, Next up, man, we got the triple threat women's SmackDown championship match. Becky Lynch, the boss, and then of course Sasha Banks. I'm sorry, the boss. Bianca Belair. I'm sorry, too many damn B's and C's. Not a bad match. It was okay. Um, and kind of hit or miss with me a little bit. But there was some nice little spots, especially the one arm with
Yeah.
Belair holding up Becky. I mean not Becky, but Sasha in the air. I'm like, okay, all right, you bragging a little bit. I like it. I like it. You the strongest. I got you, mama. I got you. And she just tossed her up one. I liked it. I like that. The finish was okay, but Becky ended up getting the victory in the end, man. What did you think of the match, man?
I thought it would have made more sense for Sasha to win.
I think we all did, but I think we all kind of saw that it was going to be a title switch on tomorrow night.
Yeah, which I hate. Like, bro, that's just so fucking lazy. So
But I
lazy.
told you that. I said, what did they do with the New Day and the Street Profits last year? They just had them switch titles. They were going to do the same thing with these two. They're just going to have them switch the titles because they want the titles on these two. So it is what it is.
Yeah. But overall, though, I know I know the match 50-50 for you. I like the match all the way up until the finish. I'm not even mad that Becky won. Just kind of annoyed that that's how she won. It was such a good match. But of course, she's a heel. She's not supposed to do shit that make me like her to win. I get it. So job well done. Kudos to the man.
Kudos to the man, man. All right, man. Next up, man, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, Universal Championship. What did you think, man? What did you think of this?
All right, man. Time for the franchise to give his honest opinion. The match, for the most part, was good. What the shit I didn't like was shit I didn't like. All right, so let's start off with the obvious. Roman Reigns going for a spear in the corner. Brock Lesnar jumps him. Jumps over him. He leaps for him. Roman Reigns hits the turnbuckle. Brock Lesnar turns around and somehow magically trips over fucking air. Strike one. Strike two. Brock Lesnar picks up Roman Reigns for an F5. The referee's there. There was nothing unintentional about that F5. He purposely, clear as fucking day, threw Roman Reigns into the referee, then had the audacity to look shocked that the referee was hurt. Dude, you literally launched this motherfucker. Like, you looked around, you saw the target, you picked up the axe, and you threw that son bitch, and then you got mad because you hit the bullseye. So then we have specimen number 3. We got Roman Reigns. We got Brock Lesnar in the ring. We got the great orator himself, the great narrator, the great Paul Heyman, right? The antagonist, if you will. He has the belt. He slides it in the middle of the ring. Very, very, very smart move, Mr. Man, because when you did that, nobody knew if it's going to be Roman, if it's going to be Brock. Then they had the tug of war. It made the story so much better, my guy. It made it so much better. But then wait, there's more. Then you get the Usi Juicy twins. They come out and they give my boy a double super kick. And then Brock Lesnar loses. But there's more.
There's more?
Roman Reigns picks up the victory. He's walking up the ramp. Him and the Usos and the family and the bloodline, they all celebrating. But you got Paul Heyman. You got Paul Heyman, brother. You got Paul Heyman looking back. And there's this look on his face like, that wasn't who was supposed to win. So, my thing
or damn, did I really just turn on him to go with Roman Reigns? Did I help him out to continue to be the special counsel? See, you can't leave that side out of it because it could also be shock of actually doing that instead of, oh man, the wrong person grabbed the belt or wrong person won. So it could be both.
That damn Judas. I love Paul Heyman.
He does what he do, man. He does what he do.
I'll tell you what, man. Hey, that's the guy. If I had to get a lawyer, man, he talk about somebody getting you out of a 20 to 25, man. Hey, throw Paul Heyman out.
God. Oh my God. Oh my God, dude.
Yeah, he talking about somebody that's gonna keep you out of jail.
Man.
Oh man.
But ladies and gentlemen, that's Crown Jewel. That's the show. I think we talked and elaborated on this a little bit.
Hey, really quick before we get off, because I know the old lady waiting on me, but we got to do this. It's tradition. Run down the results, man. Who won? What was the final tally?
So I picked you on this show, 7-6. You got 23. I got 19.
Boom, baby.
You were still up. You were still up, but I'm bringing that number down. Don't worry, I'm bringing that number down, and we still got Halloween Havoc next week. So we gonna play with that and see what that do.
Hey, after getting my ass beat the last 8 months, man. Hey, man, 2 victories in a row feel good, man. I feel like the Browns after going 0-16.
I mean, you still up. But I got more picks than you in this time. But you still up though.
Well, praise be to the tribal chief.
Right, that's all right. You do. It is what it is. But that's all right because next week, man, we got Halloween Havoc, and then after that, boy, oh boy, man, we got Full Gear and then Survivor Series. So we gonna definitely have some fun then.
Well, with that being said, man, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for tuning in to another episode of Generational Wrestling Podcast. Man, it's yours truly, the Tribal Chief, man, the franchiser. He is your king, man, King Too Cold. And until tomorrow, man, we'll see y'all when we see you. Peace.